We're back. Republican discord in the House of Representatives was on full display Friday when Speaker Boehner and his fellow leaders failed to corral enough Republican votes to pass a 3-week funding extension for the Department of Homeland Security. Just 3 weeks. 52 hardcore Republicans, including members of the so-called Freedom Caucus, turned on Boehner because the bill did not block President Obama's executive orders on immigration. Instead, the House passed a 1-week funding bill with the blessing of House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi. Despite the embarrassing defeat, Republican leaders Boehner, McCarthy, and Scalise tried to downplay their differences with the hardline members of their conference. Here they are.
We have difference of opinion in strategy and tactics, but in principle, we are united.
We get in an argument over tactics from time to time. The goals were all the same.
So obviously, our members have a lot of differences on how maybe we want to go about tactics, but our goal is the same.
The key word here is tactics. Anyway, it sounds like a Woody Allen movie. Now with just 4 days to go, Boehner just must find a way to placate or bypass the hardliners in his own party and again risk shutting down the government and the department responsible for keeping Americans safe, especially. We're back with the roundtable, Jonathan, Lauren, and Paul. In your order across the table here, how does Boehner get out of this? It seems to me he's in a straitjacket, as I said. Either he goes with the crazies and shuts the government down, shuts down the Department of Homeland Security, which they created, the Republicans, after 9/11, or he buckles and has his whole party hate him.
Well, they already, it seems like, hate him. But look, there was something interesting that happened Friday night. Nancy Pelosi, the House Minority Leader, sent out a letter to her caucus saying, vote for this 1-week deal because we'll get a shot at voting on a clean bill next week.
No more anti-immigration stuff.
Right. Speaker Boehner's office, when asked by reporters, said, no, there's no deal. We're not doing that. Now it turns out, because it was story in roll call in other places, that there's this miraculous House Rule 22 that was that's sitting there that says if a Senate resolution is defeated, then anyone in the House can bring it up.
Privilege motion.
Privilege motion, and then you can vote on that Senate resolution, which is a clean bill.
And a Democrat can bring it up.
Democrat can bring it up. Boehner can say, I didn't do it.
Okay, Immaculate Conception. Is this going to work?
No, it's not
somehow Boehner gets the vote against him without having to bring it up.
He's got to put the clean bill on the floor. I mean, this guy got 221 Republicans on January 6th when he was elected Speaker. I don't know what he's afraid of.
He's afraid of the Democratic majority ruling his House.
He's got the vote.
But he better be
He can
afraid.
just put it on the floor.
So you think he won't be dumped?
No, I don't think he'll be dumped. No.
Something like that basically emasculates his speakership.
Right.
That if he goes through one of those backdoor rule things, he basically says, oh, here's a path to just get around me whenever you want to. Never would he live with something like that. He has to either face up and say, look, this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to twist some arms and get the votes, or I'm not your speaker. You make the decision, people. He's going to go to his caucus and bust some heads. That's the way it works.
By the way, Reagan got through the 1986 tax reform bill, which is really good. It got rid of all the loopholes, got the top rate down to 28%, made everybody happy by going around the House. He went right to conference. You can do it with little gimmicks.
Well, they're out there, but they're dangerous.
Anyway, Reagan was powerful. Anyway, the Wall Street Journal issued a scathing critique of the Republican-led Congress today. Quote, Republicans need to do some soul-searching about the purpose of a congressional majority, including whether they even want one. If they really think Mr. Boehner's the problem, then find someone else to do this thankless job. If not, then start to impose some order and discipline and advance the conservative cause rather than self-defeating rebellion. That's the right speaking.
Yeah, well, and I think that, honestly, anybody who in the Republican Party wants to show, like Mitch McConnell said, we're going to be responsible leadership, this is driving them nuts. They look like they can't run a two-car train.
Exactly.
Well, the problem is they got 50 members that don't want to ride in the train.
Right.
This was supposed to be the non-scary. Remember, Mitch McConnell said, Senator McConnell said, we have to show that we're not scary compared to the 113th Congress.
And that we can govern. They're doing exactly the opposite.
You know why Harry Truman pulled the biggest upset in American political history in 1948? He had a Republican Congress just like the one we're watching. The do-nothing Congress. They got into office in 46. They blew it by 48 because they didn't do anything except hold investigations, which they did. They opened it for the prayer, ended with a probe. Every night they said, this Congress is behaving just like that. All they do is Benghazi and crap like that. They're not doing anything for the people. Hillary ought to be able to exploit this, like Harry Truman. She's like Harry Truman. Anyway, Jonathan Capehart, Lauren Burke, Paul Singer.